So they asked me to name two things that retain water, and I said, well, damn. Anyways, moving on with the video. So thanks for clicking on this. We're talking about Yama contracts, or if you prefer, Yama contracts. So lots of things have been dumped here. Before you get any further, if you want me to say another dad joke at the start of the next video, comment one below so that I know what I can do. I'm running out. I'm honestly running out. So the contracts, this is the day before they get turned on. You know what I mean? So they have released some things on it, and it's very interesting, and I'm going to read it to you now and kind of give my thoughts on it. We are then going to look at the actual details of every single contract, and that's going to be a fun part, and kind of just brainstorm ideas and metas and what's going to be going on there. So starting off, contracts. There's some important news to share. While we don't have an exact time at the moment, we're targeting around 11 BST. This doesn't matter, just move on. Okay, so contracts were supposed to be solo only, and people were not happy. So they're making it so you can do some of them with a friend. This is good. I like this. Here's the list of what you can do. A contract of familiar acquisition, contract of shard acquisition, contract of worm acquisition, and catalyst acquisition. We'll get into what these contracts are and actually what the mechanics are as well. But that should be fun. Contracts themselves will tell you which ones you can or can't do in a duo. So when you click on a contract, it'll show you what it is. Another small thing, they adjusted the drop rate of contracts to be 15% more common with today's update. 1 in 17 to get the dossier. When you open the dossier, you get one of these contracts. So contracts guaranteeing a piece of oath plate or the horn, or a piece of the purifying sigil, which is going to be used to recolor oath plate, will be solo only. That is to prevent boosting. So, kind of interesting. So, the other thing, for the less expensive tradable rewards, such as these ones here, like the shards, the worms, the catalyst, you can do them with a friend, but only the person who uses the contract will get the reward. So, you can split at the end. Like, if you're doing the shard one, you want to split, then go for it. Even if the contract isn't yours, you'll be able to get lucky and snag a unique drop on any contract, but the regular loot is disabled for all of them except for the contract of familiar acquisition. That is confusing. So you can get lucky and get a unique, but regular loot is disabled for all of them. Gotcha. Okay, so no like food drops or anything like that. Just regular loot disabled. So since the contract of familiar acquisition, it used to be guaranteed pet. They've changed it to be 10x pet for the player who uses the contract. So that's kind of crazy. It's going to be a 1 in 250 for the pet instead of 1 in 2500. But they're saying this one is going to be one of the most interesting fights. We will get into that contract and see what the mechanics are. I'm excited to look at that. Here's another thing. If you are successful at completing a contract, then you will get the contract as a drop immediately. Familiar acquisition, and then all of these ones that give you the purifying sigil. So this is actually huge and game changing, because farming the pet will be so easy for people who are able to complete that fight. You will kill the boss, you'll get a 1 in 250, and you'll get that contract again. You just go straight back in. So the contract values are going to be a lot. When you die, you lose the contract, and you will have to buy another one. Prices of these contracts are going to go crazy at this point. So that's what we know about contracts. When we actually open them up and look at them, there's some boring ones. I've got the boring ones at the start, and then the crazy ones near the ends here. So here's what we're going to look at for some terms. So for a contract of worm acquisition, you can duo this, and it gives you 250 diabolical worms. Are these worms actually good? Like, no. The answer is no, but the answer is also yes. This is a very rare contract, but if you complete it, you get it back again. I believe you can. No, you can't redo this one. Anyways, the worms are good, but this is more of a practice one. I noticed that these terms will help you practice for doing the oath plate acquisition ones. So some of the restraints on Yama's strength will be removed. He's going to hit higher. Yama can spawn enhanced void flares. We don't know what that is till we try it. Yama can cast enhanced incantations. We don't know what that is till we try it. And then you regain 50% less prayer and health. So you're going to want to be like combo eating just to get 20 health back, which is kind of cool. So interesting here. Basically, we knew this is what they're going to look like. Just do stuff perfect and you won't have to deal with it too much. But I'm definitely interested to see. It doesn't say anything about more health for the boss, so I don't know if that's something we can expect with any of these. Is he like, it has 5k health? Is this gonna still have 5k health? No, it has 2500 health. I'm freaking out here. Next one, catalytic acquisition. Some of the strengths that are removed: enhanced void flares, enhanced incantations. You can regain 50% less permanent health. It gives you 2000 Aether Catalyst. So that's the same as this one. If we get them in the same spot, you can see there's nothing different when I flip between them. Here's the next one, Shard Acquisition. 45 Oathplate Shards. Let's check the math on that. 45, let's say they go down to 300k each, is 13.5 mil, which is kind of crazy. So this contract will be valued at that or below it permanently. Some of the restraints, so it can hit higher, spawn enhanced void flares, enhanced incantations, challenger regains the less things. Wait, hold on. Is this the same as again? Why is it? It's the same. I misread that last time. Okay, so this one's the same also. Any of these three are the same, but I don't know why like this looks different. They've got the spacing different on the next one. That's why I was confused. Moving on. So this would be the familiar acquisition. Some of the restraints on Yama will be removed, so he's going to hit higher. Yama's attacks will deal more damage through prayers, which is kind of crazy. Yama can continuously spawn void flares, which is going to take a lot of housekeep. You're going to be just cleaning up the void flares the whole time. This is the biggest thing. You cannot heal with consumables. So you're going to have to buy an SGS and a Blood Fury and maybe an Eldritch. You cannot restore prayer with consumables because, yeah, this is crazy. So basically, if you want to get your prayer back, using an SGS is huge. Remember, the boss will be a little bit weak to slash, so using an SGS spec on them is good. So there is also a mechanic of when you step on the purple glyph, it will enhance how much prayer you get back from your next special attack. That is a mechanic people have found. Not many know about it. So instead of speccing Yama, the judge of Yama, you want to probably spec Yama himself. So this is pretty cool. I like this. This is going to be a fun one. You get an increased chance of the pet, and on top of all of this, you get the contract back if you complete it. The only thing though is this is not that rare. This is a 1 in 100 from Yama, so not that rare. I like this one. So far, this is the only one that's like, okay, something's drastically different here. Continuing along, Ryama's restraint will be unstrengthened. What? Yama deactivates prayers on sight. I don't know what that means. Does that mean on line of sight deactivates the prayers? Can you turn them back on? Is this like the P4 Phosani's Nightmare? You know the last phase before the Enrage phase of Phosani's Nightmare? It turns your prayer off when it starts its attack, so you have like 2 ticks to turn it back on. No longer penetrates prayers, so like that leads me to believe that's how that's going to work. Void flares spawn continuously, so you're killing void flares with your purging staff, and you're watching your prayers so that you can turn those on. If you don't kill your void flares, they're lethal. You're dead. Insta-kill mechanic. If you get the kill, you get a purifying sigil right. You need 5 purifying sigils, the 5 different ones, to create a purifying sigil. At that point, you can change the color of your oath plate. Here's the next one. Restraints are removed. Yama drains challenger's stamina passively. Panic by staminas. Yama drains challenger's stamina on dealing damage. Challenger loses upon reaching 0 stamina. Okay, interesting. Can you just drink stamina potions or like super energies? Is that your form of food now? Like they're just changing how food works? That's weird. Maybe summer pies are good. You heal and you get some stamina back. Yama's no longer weak to Demon Bane weaponry. Panic by Scythe, like immediately. Challenger must be alone, so that's a solo one as well. And then you get the Purifying Sigil for that. These are fun to look at. I'm having a good time. If you're having a good time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and whatever else. Some of the restraints of Yama's strength will be removed. Yama's attacks have increased prayer penetration. I stopped reading what these are. These are the sensory clouding. The last one was the forfeit breath. These are all the purifying sigil ones. So attacks have increased prayer penetration. Yama can pursue forever. I don't know what that means. Pursue forever? Does that mean he just follows you forever? For like what? Does he follow you around? I don't know. Is there a pursue attack that we don't know about? I don't know. Okay, void flare explosions are lethal. Challenger has 50% reduced attack range. It must be that. It must be it follows you like very closely and melees you, and because of your reduced attack range and the void flares being lethal, you are really worried about where you're standing. You have to proactively get to places, otherwise you won't be able to get there in time. Something like that. I don't know. Challenger must be alone. Another interesting one. They're trying some stuff, which I like. Bloodied blows. Some of the restraints of Yama's strength will be removed. Void flares are spawned in higher quantities. Void flares are more resistant to attacks. That I don't like. So maybe you have to do a full mage switch to be able to two-hit it. That would be interesting. Both Yama and the Challenger gain wretched strength. Interesting. You're going to be hitting bigger numbers. Yama is no longer weak to Demon Bane weaponry. Okay, so again, Panic by Scythe. Doesn't say the Void Flares are weak to Demon Bane, but just Yama is. And the Challenger must be alone. You get the Purifying Sigil from that. The Bloodied Blows. That is interesting. Okay, next one up is the Glyphic Attenuation. Glyphs protect you for less time and are more punishing. So you probably take like you take a 12 right now when you step on the fire one. Like this one will probably be like a higher number that you take, but you want to tick perfect it, which I thought was coming. I was kind of predicting that. Yama's now weak to Crush and nothing else. Panic by Crush weapons. I'm wondering if the Scythe on Crush with Inquisitors will be the best. Could be. Challenger's prayer bonus affects their drain rate inversely. You want to have low prayer bonus. That's weird. Challenger's prayer bonus increases the damage they deal. Okay, hold on. No, that makes sense. So you want to have high prayer bonus, which will nuke your prayer because it's flipped. But the higher the prayer bonus, the more damage you deal. These are getting crazy. These are getting crazy. So Crush and prayer bonus. It's gonna add some value to some items for sure. That's very interesting to see. I wonder if not Inquisitors. I wonder if Justy, it has some prayer bonus, but it's not the best. Maybe it ends up being the Sunfire armor is best here. Very interesting. I'm loving these. So that's the Glyphic Attenuation one for the Purifying Sigil. Harmony Acquisition. This will give you a Soul Flame Horn. So this better be hard, and it's going to cost slightly less than what the Soul Flame Horn costs. We'll hit higher. Yama can spawn enhanced void flares. Yama can cast enhanced incantations. Yeah, those could be anything. That could literally be anything. That could just mean they do more damage, or it could just mean they do anything. Challengers will regain 50% less prayer and health, and you must be alone. So, again, to get a Soul Flame Horn, that's what you're looking at. And then to get an Oath Plate Armor Piece, same thing as what we just saw. You regain less prayer and health and enhanced stuff. And you are guaranteed to get a piece of Oath Plate, and this contract will also cost slightly less than the actual piece of Oath Plate. Kind of crazy, kind of cool, kind of fun. Familiar Acquisition. I think we looked at this one already, didn't we? Yeah, you can't. Yeah, we did. So you can't restore your. This is the most interesting one to me. I feel like a lot of people are going to be running this like constantly trying to get the pet. But yeah, not being able to restore food with consumables or anything is kind of crazy. I'm wondering, and call me crazy here. In a team, you can do this in a duo. Could you Lunar Spellbook like heal each other as needed, like in case of emergency? I imagine you could. That could be a fun little fun little thing to look at. The value of the contracts, currently a familiar acquisition, 3.2 mil. Let's refresh. 3 mil. If we search on here, contract, you can see the buy price of all of these. The Oath Plate acquisition is 87 mil, which is crazy. Shard acquisition is 9 mil. A lot of these are going up in price. And it's interesting, like a lot of them are just different, like they should be the same drop rate, but some of these are drastically different. I don't know why. I do think so, like we've got the Catalyst acquisition, that only gives you the Aether Rune stuff. It's not that good. Same with the Worm one. But 700k for it is interesting because it's just going to let you practice some of the mechanics. I think it's just a practice thingy. I don't know what else this could be for. But overall, pretty excited to see how these all shake out, these contracts. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, put a comment. I said comment a dad joke if you've got a good one. Otherwise, don't forget to subscribe. We're almost at 2,500 subs. This is just my housekeeping work that I have to do. Otherwise, I die or something. Dye my hair. What else do we want to talk about? I'm going to have another video coming out where I review these contracts post-release and the drop rates and talk about predicting the long-term prices of Oath Plate and everything. A little teaser for that. Currently, I ran the math. If you're doing consistent 3-minute kills and no banking time, so 2.5-minute kills, factor in some banking time, it's 24 mil an hour with current prices. So this is going, like the price of Oath Plate is going to cut in half, and this will sit around 12 mil an hour, in my opinion. I think the Oath Plate armor is going to go down in value quite a bit. It might cut into a third. You might have the plate and the legs are 50-60 mil each, and the helm is like 10 to 15 mil. They made it today so that you can crush a piece and get 50 shards. So the helm will always have value because of that. And I hope eventually, I don't know, I haven't run the numbers, but should they add a set bonus to Oath Plate, or would that make it kind of broken? Should the helmet just be cosmetic, or a side grade to Torva if you can't afford the Torva helm? Interesting to see all of these contracts. Let me know what you think. Peace out and goodbye, and also see you later, and also goodbye.